right, thank you for staying with Daybreak. We're still talking about youth and leadership at political level and governance level, and my guests are still with me, Honorable George Omamba, MCA for North Kanyamkago in Migori County, Honorable Grace Bahati, MCA Cheleni Ward in Machakos, Kasmuel Makuure, ODM Youth League, Faith Ken, Youth Advocate, and Tony Blair, Onagi Comrades Association Chairman. National, he says. All right. Thank you so much for making time. And Faith, I was coming back to you to tell us about the impediments that you see and the barriers that are preventing young people from rising into leadership positions in Kenya, both politically and at governance level. And there's something that Omamba mentioned that was interesting, that youth seemingly are their own enemies when it comes to rising to leadership.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Mheshimiwa Omamba's story was very interesting. And for even us ladies, it's worse. I'm not trying to pull the gender card, but that is the truth. For us, it's more of sexism and ageism all together. So it's even worse when it's the young ladies trying to get into power. And when you mentioned the fight being amongst ourselves, I normally say that what we face with the old people is not even competition, it's fear. For them, it's fear that the youth are coming to take their space. But the real competition is amongst ourselves, because we see someone like Kasmuel rising, and I feel I'm the one who's supposed to be where Kasmuel is and not Kasmuel himself. So I feel the real pressure is amongst ourselves. And normally, the youth wanting to get into the spaces that are long known for corruption and tokenism, getting into these spaces with integrity and a genuine call, you're normally being seen, because that is the norm. You know, it has been normalized that tokenism is the day to go. If you come clean, you always face backlash. So I think if we talk about change, it should start with ourselves, supporting our fellow youth. Because just like Mheshimiwa said very well, if a young person comes out that is running for the governor, it's not the old who will start speaking, it's the voice will come from the young people that, you know what, you're still young. You need to put your kitchen in order, you need to put your family in order and all. So the old will be waiting for the fear, but will be pushing the young people to speaking. So for them, they're somewhere at the top waiting. When the young people are done pushing you out, then now they talk over because they have resources and all. So, and also, Kasmuel also mentioned something very interesting, that age shouldn't be qualification for leadership. I see a very sad scenario in 2027 whereby we'll end up with so many young people at the ballot because they are young and everyone is going out for this position. Instead of supporting a few, then supporting them. What will happen, the impact of that will be, because we are very many young people in the ballot, so we'll end up voting for the minority will end up winning, and that is the older person there. Because if we are like 5 of us young people in the ballot, meaning we'll be dividing the votes belonging to the young people. And then we're not focusing on the older people. So it will end up with getting back the old into the system unknowingly. Yeah. So the youth we should support each other. If you support a young person, for example, Mheshimiwa Omamba said is running for the position of the MP for his constituency. Yeah, okay. So the youth there, let us support him. You know, we come together and say, now we have Omamba here. Let us push Omamba to go, so that us who are because now we have limited resources. Let us, so what we can use, the resources we have the time, we have the power to mobilize, we have the power, the energy, we can campaign till night and all. So let us being the capital, Omamba to look for resources and other than push one of us to go in front. But we end up, all of us, vying for this one position, we'll end up losing. Yeah, and just to put sorry. I also wanted to say that let us also be true to the cause we are championing for, because the things we keep on criticizing the older generation for doing shouldn't be the same things we're doing. The things that we are fighting you get into leadership, then file yako inatolewa ya 2010, even before you know. Yeah. So that it's just to bring you down. And it's not because file yako inatolewa ndio usiende. So file yako inatolewa ndio ule mzee aingie. You guys, now that is the difference. Kama file yako ingekuwa inatolewa for a good cause because you're not worthy to be in that office, we need another young person who is worthy. But now inatolewa to give the oldest person whose file is also very dirty, you know, to go. So
but isn't this older person being pushed through because he has more resources?
He has more resources.
He has influenced more people to actually do the pushing.
Yeah, to do
and those people that they're pushing are the young people. Yeah. Then it means also the young people have a warped ideology because they focus on the money more.
Yeah.
Let me bring in Grace on this. Grace, and I know you've gone through this yourself. So how can this be remedied in your view?
I think one of the things that the youth need to understand, there is leadership. Nobody is going to hand you over leadership. That's not going to happen. You have to literally fight for it. They are seated on that table, they don't want you, pull your chair, sit on the other end, listen to their discussions. And this other thing I need to even just to share, I was able to vie as an independent candidate with a wave of Azimio 2022. It was not easy. And one of the reasons why, and all the leaders here, they can attest, of those who have been in politics, having a wave going against it, it's not easy, number one. Number two, the reason I had to go as an independent candidate was because they're the party politics. They have their favorites. These are people who have resources, you know, competing with people who have retired. They have their monies intact. You know, you are competing with people who are coming from influential families. Some of them have sold properties. So as a young person, you're just entering into a world of, like, quote unquote, wolves. You know, they're there to take everything. And then, of course, like Mheshimiwa mentioned, you know, I'm there young, not married, without a child. So first of all, people are like, huyu ajaza, sasa atatuongoza aje kama hajaikuwa na mtoto wa kulea. You know, yeah, ajaolewa. So na akiolewa tunamaanisha ataolewa peleke kiti yetu kwenye ameolewa. These are the things that, you know, they are brought up during campaigns, and these are the things that the young people need to be aware of even as you are coming into politics. It's not going to be easy. Don't assume because now you'll say, oh, I'm a youth, I'm a Gen Z. Even right now as a youth and a Gen Z in this elected, young people are still fighting me. Actually, they are the most with the most insults, even on social media. Like, you're like, how are we going then to change the nation if we, the same people, are pulling each other down? Yeah. It's not going to happen. And that's the reason you find most of the time as young people, as much as even you want to bring someone along, even some of you tag along other youths to come and work together. They are the same people actually now taking information to the older people on how to take you down. So you're like, as young people, how are we going to build each other up? How are we going to propel each other? Because yes, I'm an MCA right now, but the truth is in the next 10, 20 years, I'll not be a youth. You know, that's it. I'll definitely want it to be taken over by another young person. And if we can't pull each other together and bring each other up, then it means we'll forever be complaining and we'll forever be on the streets. Okay. Secondly, the issue they mentioned about mentorship. It's very hard to find someone is holding your hand as a young person to take you through the ropes and the loops of leadership. Some of them feel you are there to take their position. Unless you are Baba. No. For me, I can say luckily. Yeah. Luckily, I've been able to be mentored. I can say Mheshimiwa, the former Vice President, Mheshimiwa Kalonzo Musyoka, has been there intentionally. You can actually tell, as much as I'm an independent, this is a person who has offered that meant even some of the leaders from the Wiper Patriotic Front, they've been purposefully, literally trying to, you can see this someone who sees a future of leadership in me. But at the same time, in the same circles, there are those who feel I'm there to take their position. So these are the older folks. They're like, okay, we need to tame, we need to tame these young people. They're coming to take over. How can we slow them down? Oh, you're still young. So the issue of mentorship is very important, not just in the political arena, even in churches, even in the community, even the wazee wa kijiji, the assistant chiefs and chiefs. They need to bring, if you see leadership in a young person, kindly mentor them, don't tear them. Don't expect me to be, quote unquote, as the same as someone who has lived. You can compare me with someone almost the age of my father or my mother, because they have experience. So it's just easier for you to guide me through. Sometimes of young people might make mistakes, but can you guide me through that? But also at the same time, the young people, it's not going to be handed over to you. So you have to fight for. And the other thing, get resources. Because I can tell you for a fact, you'll be in a place where, like he mentioned, these are people with resources. And if you don't, the resources, yes, the finance, of course, you need the posters. You will need to brand your team. You will need to move from point A to point B, even if you're going to use border. So these things cost money. So you must make sure you have the resources, because don't expect to be out there and be voted for just because you're a Gen Z or a youth.
Let me ask you, if you allow me to interject. Chairman is graduating, let me use that example. In 2026 November. Then he gets into elections, or even early 2027. Then the elections are in August 2027. He has graduated. He wants to run to be a member of county assembly, for example. And here we are saying get resources. Isn't this a serious impediment that we have him, very good guy, to represent the people? Instead, me, I would say to ask the fellow youths to reduce maybe the appetite for their own. They can increase it for some agency. But when it comes to their own, they can reduce so that we have someone who can represent. He's good, but now the heart is willing, but the soul is willing.
Let's hear from the chairman what you think.
Thank you so much, Trevor. And for me, when you mentioned the issue of the impediments to young people getting into politics, like it's so relevant to me because in 2022, I contested for Member of County Assembly in Nairobi in Latimawe Ward. That is within Starehe constituency. So some of the challenges Honorable Mamba was mentioning were not as relevant to me because for me now the major challenge was cost of campaigns. In Nairobi, it is not a question of are you married, do you have a child, or do you have a home. In Nairobi, it is unatuachia ngapi ama malizana sisi unaona. Yeah. So for me it was not very easy, but of course through friends and I was able to convince them that for me, you see, I'm just a comrade na ngana lakini niko na kitu hapa. So while my opponents were giving 200 at least you can give 50 shillings, and for some you even just convince them. There's a day I even convinced some people in Latimawe Ward till it is the voters who bought me bananas. You see, so the challenge of finances is very, very big, and I think we have to find a way as a country of dealing with it. Either we make politics less expensive. I don't know how we are going to do that. I know we have the Election Campaign Financing Act, but sometimes it is difficult to enforce this law because how will you determine that I've used 2 million only, for example, for my campaigns, and she has used maybe 5 million alone? So you see, so either we tell the citizens to stop demanding or to stop expecting money from the politicians, because then it becomes difficult to hold these people accountable. When I've given you money before you elect me, the moment I get into that office, you can't ask me anything. Sinilimalizana na wewe, you see. Or we just make it law that the leaders must not give money to the which are very difficult. So when you mention that, of course in 2027 I'll still be coming in the same position. I also wish Mweshima the best of luck in Uriri constituency. Then the other thing that my panelists also mentioned, the question of mentorship. And I was very happy when I saw the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga working with Kasmuel, because for us, I may not be there, but the moment I see Kasmuel there, then I also feel represented, you see. And Chimamanda mentions that we must give people their flowers while they are alive. So while he mentions Raila Amolo Odinga as having mentored him, and while Mheshimiwa here also mentions Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, I also want to mention that in Nyanza, we also have some of the leaders who have been holding our hands. For example, Dr. Raymond Omolo, in Onagi Comrades Alliance, is somebody who has been able to hold the hands of not just the student leaders, but even the leaders who lead in different capacities. So we appreciate that, and we hope that going forward that will continue happening. But then for the young people, part of the reason why we had Onagi Comrades Alliance being formed is because we realized most student leaders from Nyanza, for example, we found that they were just getting lost after finishing university. So there was not that kind of transition from campus politics into national politics. So we formed this space to just try and maybe also network amongst ourselves and to see how we can maybe pool resources, how we can also advise one another, so that then we are able to see these young people from active student leadership transiting into national politics.
So I want to bring it, I want to hear you.
Maybe before that, Trevor, can we also push that some of these legislations that are being made are implemented? Can you imagine you go to a fundraiser, right? And you are 5 contestants. And I don't know what people do in Nairobi here. Towards election, they come with big Prados and big monies. Then you go to a church fundraiser. They say, now we want to start our fundraising, and then someone carries his hand that he has 3 functions he would want to run, so if he can be given 5 minutes to give his
contribution.
No, you are not seated. My friend, in 5 minutes, somebody say, now, Bishop, because I know this kind of infrastructure development is very huge, I think I'll just give my small donation so that you allow, and the small donation is something to do with between 500,000 to 700. So Bishop, please. Then he says, accept this my small. You know, you are seated there with your 5,000. You are wondering. And you know he's your competitor in the same seat. Then people start saying, oh, this guy is serious.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, really, I am being judged just because I am not able to give some resource.
Yeah.
And if you ask him, the kind of personality we see here is a very good personality to be a member of county assembly. But because some were giving 200 and he would talk to the others at 50.
And he's being voted for.
He's here today still with the title of
Let's get into the hardcore politics now. Let me bring a soundbite here from President William Ruto. He was actually saying that the other competitors are not worthy because he says he will win very early. I think he was in Kakamega, that was yesterday. Let's listen to what the president had to say.
Yaani mtu ningeshingana na yeye ni Raila Odinga. Lakini sasa hawa nitawamalizia asubuhi na mapema. Very early in the morning. Wamepotea. One time Kasongo nini? Hiyo itabadilisha dunia hii kweli? Sio ni ujinga. Sasa hawa jamaa mimi nataka niwaambie. Hawa jamaa wa ukabila hawana mpango, hawana sera, hawana taratibu, hawana agenda. Hata akili hawana. Munipatie huyu kijana anaitwa David Ndakwa afanye kazi na mimi tumalize ile kazi Malulu alianzisha.
Kasmuel, the political drumbeats have already started for 2027. What will the young people be looking for in 2027 in the leaders that they elect? And you've heard what the president has said. Are they going to focus on the issues, the personality, or is it going to be the same old, different day?
I think having undergone what I've undergone, this is the much I've learned in politics, without sounding like a pessimist, it is going to be the same. It's going to be the same situation. I know the young people are expecting me to say something different, but I've seen the way they are acting. I've seen the way the young people have acted on social media. From last year calling themselves tribeless, to the tribal, the derogatory remarks that I have seen towards certain quarters of this country. When Madaraka Day went, for example, to Homa Bay, you saw the tribal vitriol that happened. You saw the tribal vitriol that also came up when His Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga passed. So these are indicators. While we want to wax lyrical and say that these are going to be different, I know that there is hope for a different kind of structure, but based on the zeitgeist, the tempo of the time that is currently. That election that is upcoming in 2027 is going to be fairly the same. I keep on telling my friends that in my analysis, I see that this could be the last or the second last tribal election that people go into.
So you think this will still be a tribal election?
It still will be a tribal election, and sorry to sound like a pessimist, but those are the current indicators that I see. Two, I have noticed that most young people, especially when certain causes are not truthful, it becomes all back, no bite. In the sense that we had millions of young people, hundreds to the tunes of millions on the streets last year. But currently, even if you look at Nairobi alone, Nairobi where the commercial activists have dominated and they've realized now that funding is going low, people have taken out a lot of that unnecessary energy that they were expending to take the children of the working poor to the streets. They've been saying that they want the president to go now, they want to disband the whole government, and they called us. When we said we need to join institutionalized politics, they called us all sorts of names. Now, they have gone and formed briefcase parties. They've formed briefcase parties and they're going to run. They're now saying they want to run for elections. They're saying now they want to become president 2027. They're deferring that revolution. They've realized that what we realized a long time ago, and it's the same thing that people are saying, what Baba could see when seated down, even if we climbed on top of KICC, we would not have seen, because everyone has come back to where now we are. No, seeing what this is, it is going to be a roughly similar situation. Going by the statements of the president, it is an open secret that the only competition that the current president has or would have had was Raila Amolo Odinga. And I say that it still is Raila Amolo Odinga because Raila Amolo Odinga will be on the ballot in 2027 in terms of his ideal, in terms of the machinery that he set up, in terms of his legacy. If the current president honors Raila Odinga's legacy, I can assure you that he will he will manage to woo Raila Odinga's voter base. But if he goes against it, then he will have a problem. So Baba still transcends and supersedes that. But in terms of, I see there will be a lot of young people participating, but we also have to remember that youth is not the only qualification for leadership, as we said. We need to ensure that we are also people who can uphold chapter 6 of the Constitution on integrity, and we are able to even preserve the rights that are enshrined in chapter 4 from Article 19 all the way to Article 59, that we can take care of those. But if this current president, anyone who will come to the table, that's why the reason why the president can speak like that is the current opposition is not vigorous enough to inspire new idea, new and fresh ideas or a passion into the existing voter base. So anyone who will promise us economic transformation and show us by deed. So for the president, we are weighing him against the work that he has done. But for any other candidate, I think the country has become awakened to the fact that a lot of the times politicians will only make promises. But until we get a change of heart, until we stop bringing young people down, until we stop bringing men and women of integrity down, until we kill this animal called tribalism that is cropping up. We are saying on social media that we are not, but we are living very vile lives. Until we deal with that animal, the president's statements, they hold to be true.
You believe they'll stand?
I believe they will stand.
Omamba, is this going to be an issue-based election, or will it still be based on personality? Because we've seen in the course of the leadership of the President William Ruto some points of disagreements, others points of convergence, but will that transcend to the voting day, or will it still come down to the basics of personality? Where do you come from? Who is who said what?
Trevor, we still need workshops. I don't know what can be done. But I believe that there is going to be a good percentage of issue-based. But let me start by addressing what the president was saying here. That this only competitor was the late Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And that the remaining aspirants atapigana nao asubuhi. I agree with him. Because, you know, William Ruto has mastered certain arts. And he will look at you like this, looks at you, Trevor, and sees beyond you. Today, where I come from, because can't talk, I see a number of things that happen in this country, but I'll be specific to a few things, because I'm also a leader. Last elections, William Ruto did not come to my constituency. Today, he has come there talking to people, and I think that is the background under which the president was addressing these guys. More than 4 times. Not just to come and say hi to the people, but there are things that he is making sure that are done in that area, including where I come from, where I represent my ward, at a place called Oria, where we have a story building of a market. That, you know, that market at Oria, even old women go there in the morning. Look at it. Hey. So, Omamba, what is this? Now you are going to have your vegetables in floor 3, and then your tomatoes in floor 4. Then they say, this is brought by, of course it's our taxpayers' money, but remember we have been paying those taxes over years, and we have never seen that kind of a story market in Oria. So, that kind of a lady that came and, that saw that kind of building come and is almost complete, will go to, and you know, finally, the polling station at Oria is next to the market. So tell me the reason why this person will not go and vote Ruto. Whether 60 years since independence, we have never seen this. And now we are seeing it. That means he has learned the art that work for the people. And the people can reward you by what you have done. Now, look at the competitors of William Ruto when he says that at our Pega Subui. One supporter of other competitors and say that they have a sigh of relief after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga. Now our people can now, you know, we are free now. I mean, really, and celebrating the death of an icon, a person to the pedigree of Raila Amolo Odinga, who has fought for this country, Trevor, who was detained for 9 years when you were busy with your wife in your bed. You come today and start celebrating his death. And then another presidential aspirant stands and says, no. I mean, really, what did Kaiga say that warrants his ouster and is a presidential candidate? Ask me, I mean, tell me how Kasmiel, who valued Raila Amolo Odinga and many Kenyans, will believe in that kind of a presidential candidate. That is the reason why Rais is saying, if this kind of the competitors I'm going to have, then he ni asubuhi. Now, when these guys go for, when they go for campaigns or in churches, Trevor, you've been here. Even you, the question you're asking me, you would even answer on my behalf because you are the one reporting them here daily. When it is church service, 3/4 of their speech is unaona yule Kazongo, umeona yule mtu wa sijui nini. Please tell us what you can do differently. If it is about youth structured innovation that will bring some, economic, empowerment to the youth, tell us how you will do it differently. Right? Tell us how you can change the perspective of this issue of SAR if there is something wrong. Instead of taking 40 hours in a church saying how the money has been stolen, after you've told us how the money have been stolen, tell us what you can do differently to the people. Then this tribal card that people, a presidential candidate is saying live in TV, that I want our people from Nakuru, all the way to Mau, all the way to where, to come together so that we reclaim our rightful position. Really? In this century, Kasme, we still talk of our people to come together. Well, it is good to come together.
Yeah.
But it is very wrong to sell for us. Yeah. Do you know why Raila Amolo Odinga would go to Western and is welcome like a king? Do you know why many people fainted in Mombasa when Raila's death was announced? Do you know what happened to Eastern? Even to Northeastern people when they realized that Baba is no longer there? Trevor, where were you when people were taken to hospital in Malawi because Raila died? Really, what was Raila doing differently? Because Raila was seen like a figure of, a father figure of this country. Okay. So some of us who believed in him and still believe in him even after death and are still witnessing someone celebrating, I agree with the president. Atawanyorosha asubuhi. Okay,
let me hear what Faith Ken has to say about this. Faith,
thank you so much.
Will it be an issue-based conversation in 2027 or personality? And even here, you can already hear how the conversation, the conversation is heading.
The tone.
Let me hear.
Okay, Trevor, when I was in high school, there was a teacher who used to ask us, what is the color of your problem? So I want to ask the youth, what is the color of our problem? Because what were the demands of the youth? And are we still talking about the same things? Are we still about the same grievances that we had back then? Are we still talking about corruption? Are we still talking about representation? Are we still talking about tribalism? Are we still talking about nepotism? What is the color of our problem at this point? Because just like Kasmuel said, I feel it has been reduced to, even our conversations online has been reduced to more of personality. Right now, if I'm to criticize Kasmuel, it's not because of something he said. It's because of his suit or his hair or his tie. You get? So it's not about money stolen at this time. It's not about you talked about a specific tribe. This way. So I feel nothing much will change. And just like the president has said, it will be two-term because who is there if not the president? It will be two-term. And now this is just to get in what Mheshimiwa said. I think if the youth are really talking about doing things differently in 2027, then we should start by accountability, holding people accountable from the grassroots. Tuanze na MCA, tuanze na MP, tuanze na governor. Because we can't be talking about removing the president. We will end up in 2027 with a new president, but the same system. You get? You are with a new president, but the same MP. You are with the same MCA. You know, so it's the same problem transferred to another person. So we start from your doorstep. From your doorstep. And now that may his soul rest in peace, Right Honorable Molo Odinga has left us, and you can feel the conversation going around currently in the strongholds where, you know, he was the head, and you can see the people saying, you know, Sisi ni chama, and you know, things like that. And I feel we should stop with the gaslighting and do work for the people. And this is what the young people should demand. True. Because yes, I feel our people respected Raila and they tolerated him. They could take everything from, but not the party. So it's a time that our people work for the people. You were elected for a specific job. You know, do it. And by 2027, we open the report cards. If this is what you're supposed to do, and you've not done it. And if you consider what is going on in our counties, and I come from the Nyanza region, I'll refer to the 4 counties in Nyanza. You'll see most of the governors are leading on the projects by the national government. Don't we have county funds? Don't we have money, billions coming in yearly for the counties? And what is the work of that? And you don't hear the youth talking much about that. Everyone is focusing on Kasongo and, you know, and 2-term and 1-term, but the real problem lies with devolution and what the money going down. CDF, the 40% are supposed to go for education. You know, do we even follow up with the money? Do we audit these people? The MCAs, do we even know what the MCAs are supposed to do and if they're doing it right? So I feel if you're talking about the change, you should define the color of our problem and say this is what we're talking about in 2027. If this is not what we want, if this is not what we expected, it has not been done, let us get new people into the system. But talking about someone at the head and leaving the whole system, will end up a new year with a different person, but the same system.
Interesting analogy. What is the color of your problem? And Bati, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be issue-based or not?
One of the things, Trevor, I'm just listening to my fellow friends here, and it's quite really sad when you hear them talking about of the same president, out of his sentiments, that he's going to recede for that seat. They've praised Baba a lot, and I'm grateful. Even us in Ukambani, we love Baba. I mean, we voted for him a couple of times, and we are still mourning him, by the way. And it's really sad that we hear them saying what the statements of the president, they actually are standing by him, yet he is the exact opposite of what Baba fought for decades. For decades. We are speaking about a president, and literally the government that has killed our youths. We are talking about the government, literally, that has made our youth disappear. We've been here free so and so, free so and so. The same government, what Baba lived for. For me to be today elected as an independent candidate, it was the blood and sweat of Baba fighting for democracy. I would have never been an MCA if he never did that. So seated here, seeing someone beating their drum, saying that, you know, he cannot see any other person who will be there to defeat him. That's where he's going wrong with. He's going to the ballot against the Kenyans. It's not about who is on that ballot with him. We saw our neighboring president beating her own drums. Where is she right now? We're actually constantly asking, where is she? Because you can never subvert the will of the people. I can tell you, and we are a Mheshimiwa, when the people in your constituency or in your ward level or in the governor, whatever the county you come from, if they decide they don't like you, even if you come draped, smelling oranges, even if you come draped, smelling whatever, dripping in gold, watu wapigie kuku kura, bora tu wa make sure umeenda nyumbani. And that's the people we are talking about. And that's where Kenyans are. We cannot sit here and say he does not see. You know, I look at my payslip. I do not have a child that I'm raising. I do not have responsibilities. I can only imagine that teacher. I can only imagine that doctor. I can only imagine our nurses. I can imagine right now as you're speaking, the lecturers. They are on strike. I can only imagine the students. They're already frustrated in the university halls. They're wondering that we have no lectures are not happening. And you are here seated saying you will be able to win that election first thing in the morning. By the way, the Kenyans' agenda right now, it's not who's going to sit on that seat. It's this person needs to go. That's what the agenda is. They can sit here and criticize. They can sit and criticize the opposition leaders as much as they want. You can call them whatever names you want to call them. You can say they do not know what they... You can say they are nakili and all those statements. Actually, what Mr. President is trying to tell Kenyans is that hawana akili. That's what he's telling the Kenyans. But you know, when you had your time. You had your time. No, you had your time. I will not sit here.
Opposed to all of you.
Yeah. I will not sit here and listen people, just, talk of literally. Baba was the father of democracy. The opposition leaders, they are here sitting, talking so ill of them. They are the people who are there with Baba. Kawa mevaa sufuria. I was part of that maandamano, by the way. I'm speaking. You had your time. We were there. I was there with Kalonzo Musyoka. We were there. With Kinasifuna, Tukirushua Tiagas, we were there. Even if you can talk about Rigathi and all that. But the reality is this. We cannot sit here and just keep on brushing off what Baba fought for. He fought for democracy, and right now the government that is in there right now, it's the exact opposite of what Baba lived for and died for. Before even he passed on, we saw bills. We saw bills being ascended. That what Baba was not part, what Baba would have, if he was still alive, those are the bills Baba right now would have said enough is enough. So we cannot sit here and say, since the blood-based, broad-based, bread-based, Kenyans don't care. That is for those who are there. Okay. But the people who are on the ground, the first thing we want to go, the person who's there, this government, it must go. We don't care kama ni kuku itavotiwa, ama ni ngombe itavotiwa. Even if he sells all the highlands and comes and divides money to Kenyans, President, piga ngoma yako, but angalia jirani alipiga ngoma. Sasa ako wapi? Ukiona cha mwenzako chanyolewa, pia chako kitie maji.
So ni one term.
One term.
Let's hear what Tony has to say. We'll come to you, Tony. Will this be an issue-based politics, or it will just be about rhetoric and personalities again in 2027?
Thank you so much, Trevor, for this chance. Sometimes it is important not to cry more than the bereaved. And I want to inform my sister here that tomorrow we might actually see Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka joining this government. What will she now say in turn? So I don't think we are going to see a miracle in 2027. If we were to see a miracle, then we would have already started seeing signs by now, especially from the voter registration that is currently ongoing. What is going to happen in 2027 is just a replication of the elections we've been having. It is just about the same personality. And my sister here, Honorable Mheshimiwa here, talks about change. But when you look at those people in opposition, there's nobody that represents change on that other side. The only thing we are asking Mheshimiwa here to tell us is, if you are opposed to what is currently happening or some of the projects being undertaken currently, tell us what alternatives you have for these things. Without any alternative, what makes you think Kenyans are going to vote for you? These people are contesting against a president that defeated Baba in 2022. Personally, I voted for Baba. Who had masses in this country more than His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, the late? Nobody. So let us just wait for that time. And if you really believe that you're going to win, then let's just do it. But I don't really think that there's going to be any difference. Last year, Trevor, it reached a point where the president could not even call the youth to a meeting and for them to come. But what happened after that? Today we are seeing a situation whereby the president is being welcomed in the regions that we come from. Look at Kondele, where you could not even put a poster of Ruto in 2017 and even in 2013. What happens currently? When he comes, he is welcomed by the People's Military Barracks of Kondele Ward. So what makes my sister here think that 2027 is going to be any different? Nothing really. And the moment, when we were in that tense moment in 2024, there's even a period immediately after that, what the president did, he went for some rally in Kwale. And the kind of reception the president received in Kwale was overwhelming. What does this tell you? There is very small proportion of this country that is actually more politically conscious, that can actually vote based on ideologies, but the greater majority. That is why somebody said that civilization and democracy in general normally go hand in hand with literacy levels. There is still somebody pale kijijini pale mashinani mwenye, she still believes that Baba left us in government. He still believes that if Baba was alive today, this is what he would have wanted me to do, and they are going to believe in that. And so, just as Kasmuel said, Baba is still going to be on the ballot in 2027. And that is going to play a huge role in the re-election of President William Ruto. Okay,
that's an interesting analogy. The Kondele people's back. Let me bring in Kasmuel, then I'll come to your mama. Just like it now. There's an order that we use. So let's go to Kasmuel and here. Then I'll come back. Just the same system we're using. From the Kondele people's back. Yes. Your reaction to what Bahati was saying. That this is not, the central command of the people is that we have to do away with this government first, and then everything else comes after. Because we've always seen in this country where, in fact, there were people who termed it Raila mania and Raila phobia. There were those who went to the ballot to ensure Raila doesn't become the president. And then there are those who went to the ballot to ensure he becomes the president. Now that he's not there, what will inspire the people?
I think, personally, I still maintain that Raila Amolo Odinga will be on the ballot in 2027. For 2027, he will be on the ballot. His last word will hold. And I am not particularly opposed to some of the sentiments I've had across the aisle. Mheshimiwa makes very valid points for the sake of the opposition. And there are several lapses in governance that could deter the course of achieving a presidency. I need you to remember that I sat here and spoke ever so eloquently against this very government. That currently, with my political association, we are in an arrangement called the broad-based arrangement, one to state in the country, but that broad-based arrangement is underpinned with 10 idea points that we will first observe the sovereignty, and I could go across it, but for the sake of time, I will just I'll go through the three main important ones: the right to Article 37 to peacefully assemble and demonstrate, right to the people's sovereignty, meaningful inclusion in public life, the youth agenda, education, and I could the audit of debt and corruption, and all those kinds of things. Currently, as things stand, the people who are calling themselves opposition, we have to look at them with surgical precision, in the sense that currently one of the people who are the leads of the people's, the thing that this inconceivable, incoherent animal that is called the opposition currently is a person like Rigathi Gachagua. We must not forget the role that he played in 2024, that he was there when we were on the streets, because we were on the streets. I remember Comrade Blair as well, and Comrade Faith were on the streets as well, despite the fact that we were not seeing eye to eye. We were on the streets for the particular issue. He was the sitting deputy president then. Someone like Mithika Linturi, he sold the whole country fake fertilizer. Now he's saying that he wants to come back and liberate the nation. So if we are to besmirch characters, I think that will be something that is that we don't want to go down that route, because we will not find people of integrity there to inspire any hope. I say this currently as a person who, after sitting under the mentorship of Raila Amolo Odinga, after having in-depth conversations about how the nation, and a bird's eye view of what the nation is, I think it is a far more profitable thing for the Kenyan project, this democracy that we're trying to preserve, to remain in this broad-based arrangement as long as the government honors those things. Currently, and I empathize with the point that Mheshimiwa made, lecturers are owed 7.9 billion, which is a paltry sum, because if you look at the Auditor General's report, we've lost 16 billion somewhere, and there's 3.7 billion that has been lost in NEMIS. If 16.7 billion, actually I have to say, that has gone to ghost schools. If this could be resolved, and the lecturers would be back, because it has been 43 days. Some of these comrades, as you can see them here, they received help. This help, there's a way comrades, because a comrade must calculate, it has been expended. Then you will expect these students to come back to school. There is no inspiration for academics. There's no inspiration for them to continue to live. So will we have another disbursement? I think there should be another disbursement that is given as a grant, because help najua imeisha, and as young people in this financial, as the president goes ahead with empowerment, hakikishe kwamba comrades can get a grant that will sustain them through the period if they come back. But all these things and difficult, abnormal times call for abnormal measures. I'm glad that we have a democratic space where we can sit and be like this. There's countries that have gone that route that have not recovered. There's countries that have gone and I've seen people praise other countries and say, oh, Gen Zs took over and then they took an election on Discord, and you see the kind of leader that they elected. Yeah. There's another, even Madagascar is a good example, where someone was, a popular DJ was elected, and we knew now this is the zeitgeist that the people are now here. Now we have a military rule there. I am for the preservation of the democratic space, but I'm also very cognizant that there has been skewed development in the country. Yeah. If the president, and I've seen the things that he has done, if he is willing to take development to all corners of the country, I think it's important for us to do it. And in the spirit of reforms, as I finish, the young people need to start occupying the spaces, like even this police recruitment. We talk about police brutality, but we say that the police is a department that we've preserved for our D students. It should not be so. If you are a young man and a young woman of integrity, let us also fill those police spaces. We are now in a space where, as a young person, I can go and speak to these offices of influence and tell the DIG, for example, that DIG, these are some of the reforms we want to see in your offices. Yeah. I don't need to go and picket under his office, but while I can have these conversations. I'm for the spirit of a dialogue to change this nation, and that can be achieved. I've seen it achieved. So I'm currently telling the people, as orphans of Baba gave us very direct instructions. There's no need for any legislator to lie to us. We've been left in this arrangement till 2027. Let us preserve it for the betterment of our country.
Omamba. Trevor, there is a serious wording in the preamble, the Kenyan Constitution 2010, that talks of we the people. And I am properly astonished when I hear my sister. Of course, I am not going to attack her for avoidance of caution, say that we have decided. So I am not a lawyer, but I think I have my lawyer friend in town here. From here I'll meet him, so that he explains for me what is this wording in the preamble of we. Because you cannot sit in Yata and think that you are the we. No. The president is going to meet the Kenyans, we Kenyans. Where am I? Why does my sister think she's the we? And I agree with her, because, she must talk like that, because, we are also being watched, so that, there is also another thinking of our voters. Did you see the way Mheshimiwa was handling it? That's perfect. My sister, continue like that, so that you also get your election.
Does that mean you also are doing the same thing?
Sorry?
Because it's not true.
No, it's true. I mean, this is true.
You're also saying that because of the people.
Me, I'm saying with facts, because I am going to follow why I think the president should be given time to lead.
And
with
she
facts
said why she doesn't.
No, she only said we. We said we are going to meet in Kenyans are tired. Who told her that I am tired? You would have asked me first whether I am tired. Because that we is a collective now. It's not singular. So I have to sort that first. Trevor, in the election of 2027, many of us will go home. Because there is this side of Baba who had to protect Baba 100% and say that we are going to help Baba up there. And I also want to disagree briefly with what my colleagues are saying, that Baba will be in the ballot. This is the analogy that leaders take and say, this election of 2027 is about Baba. Baba is in the ballot, so you have to vote me so that we uphold the spirit of Baba. No! We have seen what Baba, Baba told us few things, and we have seen them. We have our conscience. We are going to judge what is right in the 2027. Baba left us to us in very safe hands. We have the eyes to see that because of this road, because of this fertilizer that is subsidized, because of these markets that are built, because of the reduced monies for the university, I am going to vote Ruto.
I thought you banned the word we.
No. I am using the word I. Okay. I am going to vote Ruto. Okay. I am very cautious. All right. I am going to vote Ruto. Okay. So this issue of Baba in the ballot, I think I want to plead with my friends to leave. On the other side, there were people who are just being voted because they hated Baba. They would call Baba names, and then they find, unajua huyo nini sijui nini, huyo mzee sijui nini. Then they carry the masses and they get elected. It is also gone. They must sell to the people the ideologies that people want to hear. not by abusing Baba at the top of mountain.
Okay.
Now,
briefly, we're running out of time.
I am finishing.
Yes.
Now, you know me, I love Kalonzo.
Yeah,
I love his command of grammar.
Yeah.
And how he speaks both Swahili and English. But those grammar, what all put together, does not make someone fit to lead. This country needs a brave person. Would we, you know, there are things I don't want to go back to. But I think my sister was literally inviting me to go back to them. Because even this country today, Baba would have died president of this Republic of Kenya. What happened in 2007? Trevor, you were young then. We were around. The president, I mean, you and me know that Raila Amolo Odinga was elected. Part of the people now being praised as if were born yesterday were the reasons why Baba, they tiptoed in the night to be sworn in. Is that a person that somebody would tell me here today that, you know, you are nice, you are what, you need to be a president? We have been around, my sister.
Okay.
Lastly,
yes.
Trevor.
Yes.
It is very inciting.
Yeah.
You know, even when Baba has died and is resting, let's not incite him. That someone says that William Ruto is doing the exact opposite of what Baba wanted. Yet, she had Baba talking in Machakos, the last public engagement, and said that I have looked at this thing.
Yeah.
And I have seen something that most of you have not seen.
Yeah.
And that I, Raila Amolo Odinga, must not be for the country to continue. Do you know, Trevor, if Raila Amolo Odinga was thirsty for power, it was this time that GNC brought it.
Yeah.
But Raila Amolo Odinga, in his wisdom, and for abundance of caution, that the country must continue, decided to swallow. And let me ask you, if what happened that the agencies found Matiang'i or Gachagua, or I don't want to call Kalonzo though, but even though, would they have swallowed their pride to make the country run?
Okay.
And Raila saw beyond his personal interest and said that we must give the president time to lead.
Okay.
Where I was left, I don't want to use the word we, is where we have to pursue. So that if the opposition has something, because she has mentioned very many things, she would have given a solution here. That, you know, this is the issue that, and when you say that the president is abusing the we, he's not abusing anybody. This is a contest between William Ruto and maybe Gachagua, William Ruto and Kalonzo, William Ruto and Matiang'i. Okay. It is not, I am not in the ballot. Okay. And I am the we. Okay. And that sovereignty also belongs to me.
Okay. Faith.
I finished by saying Trevor.
No, time is up now. No, let's go to Faith. Let's go to Faith now. Faith.
That's okay.
I'm talking to you. No, let's hear what Faith has to say. Yeah.
Trevor, I think Mheshimiwa needs another show for him.
Yes, Faith.
Oh.
My apologies.
It's okay. My time is coming.
So, Trevor, I think I will also just get into where what she was talking about when she talked about the people. Just the problem is William Samoei Ruto. They don't really. The discussion was about who takes over or what. And I think that is where, after the 2024 and this year's protest, the Gen Zs found themselves at crossroads, because we had no what next moment. And if you're not going to sit here and still talk about we don't have a plan, if not William Samoei Ruto, then who? And I think that is not a mentality that we're supposed to go back to into elections. If you're talking about replacing, then with who? And if this is a discussion we're talking about the man at the top, then what about the people here? So it's not about we're taking you out because you're corrupt, you're what? You're corrupt, you're not working for the people. We just want you out, but you don't care who who comes in. You know, we should also be talking about the solutions. If it's not William Samoei Ruto, then who? And why are we taking out William Samoei Ruto? And she mentioned about how William Ruto sent into the bill when the day Right Honorable Amolo Odinga died. And this bill went through all the readings in the parliament. It went through the first reading, the second, the committee stayed the third, until the time now when the president was assenting to it. It's not like the president woke up and assented to a bill when Raila had just died. So you can't really place that on William Samoei Ruto. And that is why I do say, what are our priorities? Because the bill didn't come from the president, it came from parliament. Why are we excusing the parliamentarians? Why are we not questioning them? Yet, if we're not okay with this bill, it came from them. They are the lawmakers. The president just assented to what they had passed. So we should go back to the roots, to the roots. Mheshimiwa Mamba talked about Raila dying, and that would also want to just take on the point that we are going to the election, and let's stop talking about Raila. We are voting for Raila. Let us vote for people because they are capable of working for the people. The idea of mimi nilisimama na baba nilikuwa namsaidia huko juu. Sai, let us judge you with what you've been doing. Okay. It's time to deliver and stop, and to the leaders, stop gaslighting us with Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila amekufa na tutaki, you know, and you find they even dissenting, those who are supposed to, those who are trying to speak up because ufai kuongea, we are mourning. No, we are also mourning different ways. But we can still talk, we can still demand for accountability. We can still call you out if you're not working because we elected you, not Raila. We elected you as a person. So now that Raila is gone, work for the people. And 2027, we are coming to bring the report cards. And this is what our people should call out. So stop focusing on the man at the top. And tuanze huku chini if it really talking about a fair Kenya or yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Bad.
Thank you, Trevor. And thank you, Mheshimiwa. You know, actually is a ranking member when it comes to, you know, he was elected 2013. Of course, I was still in school. That's congratulations. But that's not an easy. MCA is one of the hardest jobs people undermine. And I actually is ready now. I can vouch for him. He's ready for an MP. So one of the things he said, many of us will go home. You and who? You know, he was correcting me about we. So he said many of us will go home. You and who? So he should also specify whether it's him or he's actually referring to other people who are using the name of Baba. So one of the things that we need to come to understanding as Kenyans, everyone will have, that's the democratic right, like my brother Samuel said. That's the reason why everyone here has a choice. You can choose Baba, you cannot choose Baba, you know. You can choose Ruto, you cannot, it will depend on who you, at the ballot, it's for you to choose who you do you think represents your values, who represents where you want the Kenya to be. And one of the things that I find very, very, very disturbing is when people will be like, oh, the opposition, it's, because even the Kenyans who are not leaders, they're Kenyans who are not in the government, they're in opposition. So you can't say the people are in opposition, they are clueless because they do not have a leader. Now, one of the things they keep on saying, oh, the opposition is weak. Then if being strong as a leader is killing the youths, then oppositions were okay to be weak. If being weak is when we can actually not stand and order our kids to be okay when our kids are being murdered or being shot, then as an opposition, we're okay to be called weak. If they can sit here and say Kalonzo is weak and they keep on bringing the issue of 2007, let me remind you, in 2007, yes, I was not a voter, but Kalonzo was also on the ballot. Baba was on the ballot, Kalonzo was on the ballot, Kibaki was on the ballot. So there was never a MOU or a coalition that they had that, you know, will come back together and come and join Kibaki government. Then Kalonzo had to stand as him as an individual. So these issues of keeping, and even you can tell they have an issue with Rigiji. They have an issue with, who's the other person? They have an issue with some couple of leaders in the opposition. Don't forget, Rigiji is also a Kenyan. He has also his right to voice whatever he feels that he's not okay with. So we cannot suppress his dissatisfaction. And the other thing we need to get to understand this, Kalonzo is not a weak person. If the only time we can say, Kalonzo has ever been weak, he has strengthened our diplomatic relationships. Right now, where are our diplomatic relationships in this country? In the gutter. So one of the things we need to come to understand, the opposition is there to represent, and we can never be a yes ma'am, yes madam to the current government. They can be in government, that's okay, but I as a Kenyan, and majority of Kenyans out there, let me not use we to offend my brother, I as a Kenyan and other many Kenyans, they are of the part of, yes, this government is not working for me and many of us.
Right.
So, and we can say, we shall be under the ballot, and don't worry about who will be representing the opposition. No, I'm telling you, I mean the opposition. No, I'm talking about the opposition now. We in the opposition, don't worry about our business. You guys worry about where you'll be going home for vacation after Kenyans have sent you home. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Trevor. For me, or for we, and the people that I represent, I know we shall be able to look at the things that have been done and be able to weigh. I think the re-election of the president will depend on his track record, and we are waiting for that time now to make that decision. So just to caution Mheshimiwa here that she must know that she does not have monopoly over ground. We are also in the ground, and when that time comes, we shall surely say that this is the position we are going to take. Till that time comes, let's wait. I mean, we have a bit of time before the 2027 elections happen. And as I said, who tells her that Kalonzo will not join this government?
Okay. That's a good question, and that's a good place to leave it. Gentlemen and ladies, thank you so much for making time. Coming up next is Gigi. No, bye for now.